Here's a fun little question for you guys. I know who this particular composer is, but the Cyrillic writing on the book might give you a hint as to who it is. But if you can guess who this is down in the comments, I would love to see your guesses. I'd play a bit of the music, but it's very difficult music, and it's not really the type of thing that you can sight read. But I just thought it was kind of cool, the age of this book and the fact that everything here is written in Cyrillic, as you can see. So maybe if one of you guys out there can read Cyrillic, this might be extremely easy for you. But I just thought it was kind of cool. And you also might be able to recognize the music as well. So there you go, I just thought you might find that kind of cool. Today I am here in a private residence doing a review of a Kawai keyboard. Now keyboards aren't something I usually do reviews on, but this is a particularly nice one, and of course some people on my channel might want me to do reviews on keyboards since they're much smaller than pianos and also much more affordable than pianos. The model keyboard I am here with today is a Kawai CA78, and it has a lot of cool features that I wanted to talk about in this video because it's a pretty nice keyboard, and it's honestly one of my favorites, both from Kawai and of keyboards in general. I really like this one. Now, as far as keyboards go, it's a rather high-end keyboard and it costs a bit of money, but it comes with a lot of features, and one of my favorite things about it is the action that it comes with. It comes with Kawai's Grand Feel 2 action with let off. It also says that it has ivory ebony touch, but to be honest, the keys really don't feel much different than standard plastics. They might be slightly less shiny, but that's about it. But what I really like about this action is the feel of the action when you play it. It feels very much like an actual piano action when you play it. It has a very springy feel, which most pianos don't have, but it responds very, very well both when you're playing it slow and soft and quiet, and loud and hard and fast. It does both of those very, very well, and it really does feel very much like a piano, much more so than most keyboards out on the market. Another thing I like about this keyboard is the sound quality of all the different sounds. The piano sounds sound very much like a real piano. The main piano sound that it defaults to when you boot up is labeled SKEX Concert Grand, so it's most definitely modeled after the Shigeru Kawai SKEX. There's a whole bunch of different sound variations of the SKEX in here, as well as the regular Kawai EX, and also a bunch of other different types of pianos, and all kinds of other cool sounds, which I'll get to in a bit. It's got a lot of features down here with plugs and outlets and stuff. There's even a hook to hang headphones. There's 2 different types of headphone jacks. There's MIDI ports and USB stuff and all kinds of cool things down there. Another cool touch I liked about the keyboard is that when you play bass notes, the speakers up here are the bass side speakers. I believe there's also a larger speaker down here to really help the bass sound nice. The speakers over here will activate when you play bass, and when you play treble, the speakers over here will activate because that's how a piano works. The treble strings over here and the bass strings over here. So when you're playing it, you kind of get a binaural kind of sound. When you're playing the bass, it's coming from over here, and the treble is coming from over here. It's a nice touch that I really liked, and of course you got a big speaker grill going all the way along the back, which has a very nice sound to it. So now let's talk about some of the cool features about this. As you might see over here, there's a big touchscreen. It's very high resolution and it looks very nice. And what's cool is there's a few different sound options down here. There's pianist, which you can have different sound options. There's a recorder, there's a metronome, which works as you would expect. It's a very nice metronome. You can select the speed that, like your sheet music might say, and then you can also just customize the exact specific tempos. I wonder how high you can make it go. I always love seeing how high you can make you can make it go up to 400. That is amazing. I've never seen a metronome that actually go that fast. That's awesome. So as for the sound, there's a whole lot. What's cool is you tap the screen, you then get into a menu where then you can either scroll up and down to get a whole bunch of different sounds, or you can scroll to the right to get different sound variations. So here on Grand Piano, the one that it defaults to is the SKEX, but you can also get the EX, the SK5, Jazz Clean Piano, Warm Grand 2, and Standard Grand. Now, I'm not going to go through every single sound bank on this piano, but I'll talk about some of my favorites. Let's start off here with the SKEX. I will give a quick demonstration of the sound of this particular sound bank with a little song I wrote that helps demonstrate the sounds of a piano. It starts off in the treble and works its way down into the bass, and it gives a pretty good representation of what a piano sounds like. So hopefully you enjoy it. course, there is no real substitute for a concert grand piano, but as you can hear, this one doesn't sound bad at all, and it responds very, very nicely as well. And there's a whole bunch of other cool sounds in here as well. We have a whole bunch of more piano sounds. We've got pop grand 2, upright piano, modern piano. Of course, all these will sound different. If I'll play the upright piano real quick here. You'll hear it's a lot different just from the treble alone. It's a bit more noisy, and if I come down here to the bass, it sounds actually very much like an upright piano. So that's pretty cool. We also have a lot of other non-piano sounds. This is an electric piano, like a Rhodes, you know, something like this. It has a good sound to it. I like when you hit the note real loud. It really has this nice pop sound that the Rhodes are known for. Sound to that. I like that. There's a different version of that. I'll play the same little thing. These particular sounds remind me of my Korg SV1, which has basically these exact sounds on it. The second sound that I just played with on my Korg is a lot more gritty and analog sounding. They have a crystal electric piano. I don't know what this will sound like. Ah. Whoa, that's different. We have organ, which is pretty cool. So on the screen here, it shows a Hammond B3. It's a rather pixelated image of a Hammond B3. I'm surprised it's not a little higher resolution, but maybe they lowered that so it operated responsively. So we have a Hammond B3. And it actually sounds quite a bit like a Hammond B3. They did a good job. I don't think that you can make the rotary speaker go, which is kind of a shame. Maybe if you tap and hold it, and maybe the other organ sound. This is a blues organ. No rotary yet. Doesn't sound bad though. Doesn't sound bad at all. Very nice. We also have church organ. I'm not going to go through all the variations because there's like 2 whole rows of variations on a church organ, but touch. There's also a different version of organs. So that's pretty cool. We also have more keyboard instruments. We've got like a harpsichord here. We've got a different harpsichord, playing in octaves. We've got a vibraphone, which is a nice touch. As a person who has a vibraphone, I have to say that it sounds a bit like a vibraphone. The treble up here kind of needs more sustain. A real vibraphone is a bit more vibrant up here. It's quite a bit more vibrant up there. There's also a clavy sound. Which I think is actually one of the best clavy sounds for that song that I've actually seen in the keyboard. We have a marimba sound, which is really nothing at all like a real marimba. I also have a concert grand marimba, and this. I have not seen a single keyboard that can actually accurately represent a real marimba, particularly on the bass. That is not optimal, but the rest of it sounds pretty cool. There's also a Celesta sound here, which is kind of cool. Now that actually sounds very much like a Celesta. I think it's transposed an octave lower than it should be, or an octave higher than it should be, I guess, because I think that register should be up here, but it's kind of cool because then you can play these super high notes if you wanted to, and also low bass notes a Celesta would never be able to play. We've also got a whole bunch of string sound effects. We've got slow strings, and then one of my favorites here is the warm strings here. So. I'm sure you recognize what song that was. We've got choir sounds. All kinds of stuff. You can kind of get the idea by now. I said I wouldn't go through everything, and I'm actually not going through everything. There's a wide variety of sounds on this keyboard. You can probably tell that by now. We've got bass sounds as well for upright basses. This is a finger bass, fretless bass. I wonder if you hold a note and then play another note, does it slide? Okay, it does not. Some keyboards do kind of like a portamento thing like that. Like I've seen on some keyboards, if you have it programmed to an acoustic guitar sound and you play one note here and one note there, it will actually do like a fret noise, which is a nice touch. This keyboard I don't think does that. We've got wood, bass, and ride. We've also got guitar sounds. Let's see if it does fret noise. Doesn't sound like it. Anyway, so that's a quick little look at the sounds on the Kawai CA78. I'm going to play an original song of mine on the piano right now, just to give you another example of what the piano sounds like. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. As I've showed you, it has a wide variety of sounds. It's a very nice keyboard. Hopefully you enjoyed that performance of my original song, which is called Things That Make You Stronger on the Kawai CA78 keyboard. It's a very nice keyboard which has lots of cool features, and they've went through many awesome details. Like I said, there's even a little headphone hook under there to hang your headphones, and there's actually two sizes of headphone jack, so you don't need an adapter. Doesn't matter which size jack your headphones are, which is a really nice touch. I think the touch screen on the keyboard could honestly use a bit of refining. It's a little twitchy sometimes, especially when scrolling up. If I wanted to scroll up, see, it jumped again. So it takes a bit of getting used to. It works, but I think that's one thing on this piano that really needs a bit of work, is the sensitivity of the touchscreen. But overall, this keyboard has a really nice sound to it. It has lots of really nice sounds, and the action on it performs very much like a real piano. So once again, I hope you've enjoyed this video of the Kawai CA78 keyboard. If you go back on my channel, you'll see some keyboard reviews, mostly piano reviews, but I've got lots and lots of videos on there that you can go check out. And if you want to subscribe, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.